Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Not in Project C1, and we're not doing anything in my utility room for a change. This car you see that I'm sat in is a 2009 Renault Clio Sport Tourer, which is the French way of saying it's an estate car. This car used to belong to me. I hate it so much. I had this car for 6 years, and this was the kind of car that anything that could go wrong went wrong, was fixed, went wrong again, and in some cases went wrong again. For example, the way that the wipers on the front of this car work, it's got one motor with two arms and a link arm between the two. For some reason, and I don't know how, it snapped a link arm. I don't know. So I got rid of this when I got my XC60. My mum kind of liked the car, so she said, if you're getting rid of it, I'll take it. So I said, there you go, take it with open arms, with my pleasure. You can keep it. And for her, it's behaved. I really hate this car. This car hates me. But anyway, enough of my hatred for this car. I've had 6 French cars. It's the only one I have problems with. This one, my mum has hit a post. Because, I don't know. So, we've got a bit of damage to repair on this one. We've got the bonnet hinges. They appear to have been bent. The front crash bar has got a nice dent in it like that. And the bumper itself, some of the plastic parts of the bumper is broken. So I'm going to have to get my new toy out, my hot stapler, and we'll have a go at that. So, without any further ado, and before I hurt myself thinking about working on this car, let's get on with it. So this is the part in question. You can see that the upper edge of the bonnet is raised a little bit where it's been shunted that way. You can see the gap that it's left as it's gone all the way through, so we'll sort that out with some new hinges. You can see some of the damage that's happened as the car hit the whatever it hit. That's been cracked down there, so we've got some hot staples and stuff to fix that. And then behind here, which I'll show you in a second, the crash bar's all bent, so we've got a new one of those to install. So let's get on with it. Okay, so in order to get access to the hinges, this whole trim panel just clips off, except this bit down here where there is one torque screw, and there's another torque screw just there underneath that panel, which is very annoying. So we may have to disconnect the wiper arms. So I'd rather not do that, but hey, needs must. Right, so it's now the time for the bumper to come off. This has already come out, that's already been taken off. That's already been taken out. That's already been taken out, they're 10mm bolts by the way. Same on this side. We now have to remove the plastic clips from the inner wheel arch liner and jack the car up and have a look underneath and see what's holding it on from the bottom. Right, the next part is removing these little plastic things. There are two. There is a split mud shield on the inside, so it shouldn't be too hard. There's one there near the spring, and there's one just here right at the very front. Pop them out, and then this moves out. Let me just shift that, and then there's another bolt just in there that needs to be taken out. So I'll get on with that, and then let's get this bumper off. Okay, so we can see now that's the damage. So the nudge bar's done exactly what it was designed to do and protected the rest of the car. Just for comparison, here's the new one. this side is where the towing eye goes in, so it's just there, and it's held on by some 16mm bolts like that, in that sort of pattern. So let's get the impact out and we'll take them off. Right, so that is the crash bar on. There's no dent, of course. I cleaned up all three of those bolts, copper slipped them, put them back in. That is now holding very strong. So, next thing to do now is to repair the bits of damage that happened on the plastic trim on the bumper. So what I might do is set the entire bumper inside, and I think we'll hot staple it and reinforce it with some fiberglass maybe. We'll see. Right, so the bumper is off, and I'll be honest, for what it is, it's very heavy. We've got a little bit of damage there somewhere. I'll investigate that in a minute, but this is my primary concern. It's split all down there and all up there, like you can see it flopping around. So to that end, I will take you over to the other bench and I'll show you this high-tech piece of mechanical engineering type thing. This is a hot stapler made by the finest Chinesium. In there goes one of those hot staples. Pull the trigger, staple gets hot, push it into the plastic, turn and withdraw. That should leave it behind. So let's give that a try, shall we? So, as you can see, that's held fairly well together. Let me look at that. That's pretty good. I mean, we'll trim these down. I put a few more and trim them down. Maybe go over it with a bit of filler, which I have just here. A bit of fiberglass filler. Yeah, P40 fiberglass. It's looking pretty cool. So we'll carry on with this bit down here, which is currently out of shot, but yeah, I think this bumper's salvageable. So, that's all the hot stapling done. It's looking pretty good. It's fairly rigid. It's pretty well taken. Yeah, I like it. I think I'm just going to leave it at that actually. I'm not going to put filler on it because it's just an under tray and it's kind of flexible anyway, so I'm just concerned it'll snap the filler. There are a few little bits and pieces snapped up here, like for example that clip snapped, that clip has snapped, that clip has snapped, but as you can see I've tried to repair it, but it's that thin, it's not gone very well, so I think we're just going to have to leave that as it is, to be honest. But while we've got you and the bumper's off, I'll show you where the actual bumper bolts and stuff are. Going from the top, so this is the side that you'd see when you open the bonnet. So we've got a bolt, same on the other side. On the sides, we've got another bolt just there, and again, same on the other side. And underneath, you've usually got like a few bits and pieces, like here and like some here. To be honest, that one's sheared, the rest of it's still in there, so I might have to drill that out and sort something out about that. But there are some more over here. That one's sheared as well, one over there. And for some reason, when the car went to the garage after the accident in the first place, Someone put some self-tappers in it, and I really don't understand why. But whatever, it's not a me problem. It's not my car anymore. So yeah, let's get that back on the car. Right, so what we're doing here is we're just loosening the bolts on the bonnet so that we can slide it, because it appears that the actual bonnet hinges themselves aren't bent as per the original diagnosis. So we're going to try and get this gap as small as possible, try and get it within that like it's supposed to be. So we're just tightening these up now, and we're going to drop the bonnet, see what happens. Here we go, that's much better, considering that gap at the beginning was huge. It's a little big, but we're talking millimetres, so it doesn't matter. And if we have a look at this part here,
it's that side that's
it's that side that's just overlapping a little bit. If we compare that to the other side, just there, it's not amazing. So yeah, that might do for now. So the main test for this now is, does this work? Sounded like it works. Let's go have a look at the actual bonnet itself. It appears to have popped this time, because if you remember back to the beginning of the video, that bit wasn't happening. So if I get in here and swap hands, have a look at that catch, it should lift itself. Ah yes, problem solved. So if we close that down now, that gap is a little big, but it's close enough to not let hoodless amount of water into the engine bay. So I'm going to go as far as to say that that job is done at the moment. We do still have the cosmetic damage of the post that she hit, but yeah, that's a job for future Dave. So that's going to need another bumper at some point, but for now, that is solid. That'll pass an MOT. That's all we're bothered about. So thank God that's done. So I'll say that was fun to do, but it wasn't. You know my feelings with this car. We took the bumper off, replaced the crash bar, because we had a nice straight one, found that on eBay nice and cheap. We got some bonnet hinges, which we didn't end up changing actually, because in order to do that we had to take the wings off, and not today. It's getting cold and wet, not today. But we've adjusted it, so yes, the actual scuttle end of the bonnet is sitting a bit high, but it's fine. It opens, it closes. For now, it'll do. We're only doing this so it'll get through an MOT anyway, but yeah, MOT work done. Yeah, big tick. We've hot stapled some of the bumper bits back together. Some of it is a bit beyond repair, so at some point it's going to need a new bumper, but that is a springtime job, because I need to get my paint gun out and paint it the same colour as the car, and yeah, that wouldn't work very well in this humidity and this cold, and so that's a springtime job. But in the meantime, the car runs and drives fine, everything's done, it's working, so I can now hand this car back and go back to my glorious Volvo, because God, I hate this car. Really hate this car. But it's just this car, not Clio's. Clio's are great cars, just this car. I used to call this car Christine, by the way. Anyway, enough of my dits. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that sort of good stuff. You can follow me on Instagram down here if you did get any value out of it. And I think I've earned this one. You can buy me a coffee if you wish. Link it down in the description below. So, yeah, ring that bell, and I'll see you in the next video.